Hi. You might be wondering who the people in this photo are and what's their story. We are JetStream, and this is our aircraft. You might ask what this beauty is capable of. Here's a hint. Our airplane is a response to the Air Cargo Challenge 2022 competition, which holds place in Germany this year. The mission's target is to transport as many bags with blood as possible in the longest possible distance relative to time. The first phase of the mission consists of the payload being loaded as quickly as possible. Then the second phase, takeoff and gaining altitude for the next 60 seconds. The pilot needs to be really careful not to reach more than 120 meters here, since penalties apply, and the GPS logger constantly records flight data. The next phase of our mission is flying the biggest distance possible for the next 120 seconds. After these 2 minutes have passed, flight data is recorded and it's time for landing. There's no time limit for the landing phase, but it needs to be done carefully as not to damage the bags with blood. After the landing, our team has to unload the payload as quickly as possible. Here's how we managed the task. When it comes to loading and unloading the blood bags, we had a great dilemma regarding the opening's position on the fuselage. We had to choose between worse overall fuselage strength and easier loading and unloading by cutting the opening on the side, or good strength and harder loading by having the door on the back of the fuselage, which is also the more popular way of doing it in RC models. And after numerous hours of debates, tests and comparing the two methods, we finally chose the second version. In the end, we agreed that it could be used in combination with a plastic wrap to unload the payload faster. We strongly believe this is the winning formula. Before flight testing, we did a good number of calculations on the flight plan. In our equations, we took into account the geometry of the flight field, the airplane's speed and wind speed. First, we did it for clear conditions with no wind, then with wind in different directions, and we did those calculations to be less dependent and surprised by the atmospheric condition. The pilot's capabilities are going to be tested as well, since scoring is based on altitude and distance traveled and speed of loading and unloading. Simple, right? After the rules breakdown and our take on the project, here's how we're gonna do the mission. The whole aircraft, except the tail, is made out of carbon fiber, which is known for its high stiffness, high tensile strength, low weight, and low thermal expansion. The internal structures are made of Herex, and the stabilizers, elevator, and rudder are made of balsa, an ultra-weight type of timber. The whole construction weighs just 2.5 kilograms. The airplane has a wingspan of 241.5 centimeters. It has a length of 143.5 centimeters, a height of 48.9 centimeters, and a wing area of 5,200 square centimeters. So our team decided to place 6 bags, 300 milliliters each. According to the calculations we did, that amount will be optimal because it's big enough so that we collect good points, but also small enough so that we don't make the steering of the aircraft too difficult. I suppose you'd like to know more about Team JetStream since it's mentioned all the time, so here we go. JetStream is known to be one of the best scientific clubs of Wrocław University of Technology. When born, the club had mostly glider pilots and enthusiasts, but with the years it's grown to be the home of many decorated RC model constructors, aka AV geeks that build model aircraft from scratch. And in the recent years, the club has been victorious in competitions such as SAE Aero Design, but apart from being fiercely competitive, we're also a big family, which supports one another. The team consists of this year's recruits to the JetStream team from Wrocław University of Science and Technology, which means mainly first-year aerospace engineering students, and also one team member is from the second year of the same program. Hardships and problems which occurred during the preparation of the project. The first thing which comes to my mind is the quick learning curve to which we had to adapt. Before becoming members of JetStream, few of us had constructed anything other than an IKEA bed. But thanks to the older team members who taught us through a lot of practical learning, helped us organize better, and made sure logistics arrived in time, we managed. Another problem we had was the initial lack of communication between team members. It really slowed down a lot of the tasks we had to do as a team and made us postpone many important improvements. The project in itself had many variables. The first thing we learned were basic aerodynamics and mechanics. We did learn a lot about new concepts and innovation in the field of RC modeling. It might be no surprise to you that we got to know the different ways of building a wing. We got acquainted to new tools in the workshop, and under monitoring from older members, production of the parts for our flying machine began. Diving deeper, we were introduced to a new program, SolidWorks. Only one of us had ever used CAD 3D modeling software before, so this was a huge challenge for us. But after watching a dozen of YouTube tutorials, we managed to get it to work with us. Another program we explored was XFLR5, which is a great program for choosing a good airfoil and checking its characteristics. Learning from your mistakes is very useful, but learning from the mistakes of others is even better. Having the older team members by our side was a great wall to lean on when running out of ideas or trying not to mess up something. We definitely leveled up in terms of communication skills, humbleness, and handling responsibilities. Time management improved for most of us, but we couldn't deal with the coordination between team members until the very late stages of the project. Another minor improvement was our knowledge of technical language in the field of aviation. We hope Air Cargo Challenge 22 won't be our only project. During the competition, and after that, we'll definitely notice our Achilles heel. We plan on improving in every weak point we notice and strive to be the best. Just like our older team members, we can deal with any challenge. Dobra. Jest minuta, tak. Dobra.
Cofnijcie się do pana, podejdę z tym. Jeszcze raz. Góra. Góra, 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 góra. Dobra. Lecisz. Teraz do prawej trochę sobie odkręć. Jeszcze raz. Odkręć do prawej. To za nim. Odkręć jeszcze do prawej. I teraz tak, żeby nie jest taki mocno. Ładnie. To, teraz